Start here. Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe has signed power purchase agreements with 3 of the preferred bidders of the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producer Procurement Program. The program was launched on the 12th of April last year, and the successful bidders were announced shortly after that. The 3 projects who signed today are Koolskop Wind Power, Sandkraal Wind Power, as well as Pezgumoya Wind Power. Our reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones is on that story, and he joins us now live to tell us more. Pule, just give us more details on what the minister said today as he signed on these deals.
Yeah, well, firstly, Masiko, I think the most important question has been why this whole process has taken so long. They've come out to justify that this was due to, certain legal processes that had to come into play. And of course, some bidders took time in terms of representing their projects and plans when coming into the window 5 of this whole renewable plan. But the minister's also acknowledged the crisis in the country, like you've mentioned, that load shedding has been nothing but a burden on many South Africans, first and foremost saying that this is something that he believes, with the partnering of some of these companies coming on board, may just contribute to the grid as well. He's of the view that this whole process cannot be done only by private players, but he says it needs a strong state capacity, meaning that Eskom should also come in here as a strong state player and of course work along with some of these private players. He's of the view that this project may kickstart and may show some bit of progression, but there's also been that debate as around to coal versus wind and solar. We do understand that he's also taken a firm view to say that he still prefers coal over some of the elements that would be used to generate electricity for capacity in the country. Looking at the fact that if you look into the issue of coal, many European countries, including the EU and Australia, have reverted back to using coal due to the struggle of having, these gas refineries as to the war that's taking place between Russia and Ukraine. That has had an impact on the global community as well there in terms of those elements being used for energy. But we do understand that he believes that working with private partners may just work, but it has to be a fair commitment from both the private players and the state. Perhaps we can just take a listen to what he had to say earlier on regarding that matter.
The mood in society is one of a society that is upset. I agree with that. That is the mood. And the reason for that is simple. When you explain the crisis to society, South Africans see themselves as an island. When energy crisis is a global phenomenon, South Africans don't accept that. They think it's a South African crisis. When you tell them that Europe, which was telling us to move out of coal quick, has ordered coal from us, which has grown 8-fold. Actually, the orders of coal from EU are at 720%. That is the increase we have seen. So this crisis is a global phenomenon, but we have a responsibility here to address the crisis. That's why we're still in a crisis mode. It's because it's a crisis, you don't need to explain it, you need to work hard to resolve it.
And Pule, I understand that the minister also responded to former President Thabo Mbeki's speech from last night.
Yeah, this comes just after the remarks by the former President Thabo Mbeki during his lecture yesterday at UNISA, in which he said that the continent needed to develop what he called African intelligentsia to resolve some of the challenges that we face in society and in the community. Of course, Maseko, this speaks also to the energy crisis, saying that the reason why we find ourselves in this mess is due to the lack of leadership. And this only does not start now with the current board led by Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter, but he says that this backdates to 2007 when they were supposed to get things right then. But Mantashe, being Mantashe, says that it's unacceptable that leaders who are on the sidelines of watching what the government and the ANC is doing should not only comment but support as well the president and as well the whole cabinet in terms of ensuring and trusting them that they can resolve this energy crisis. Maybe we can just take a listen to what he had to say regarding those remarks mentioned by the former president Thabo Mbeki.
The worst thing you do when you're a leader is to criticize your predecessors and your successors. Can I tell you the risk of that? I've been a predecessor and a successor in many instances. The problem of comparing yourself with your predecessor or your successor is that you appear to be projecting your own space as clean, and everybody else is not clean. So I get worried when leadership begin to talk about leadership void and deficit. I get worried about that because a leadership that is there, retired, has a responsibility to assist those who are still in leadership. If you criticize them, it's a nice thing to say on a stage, but it's a different issue if we are called upon to assist them fill the gaps that are there. Therefore, so the leadership that I'm expecting from my former presidents is that they will assist the current president grapple with issues. But if they take a podium and say he's useless, he's a disaster, then I switch off my radio because it's an easy way out. It doesn't talk to the problem that we're confronted with.
All right, Pule Letshwiti-Jones with that report after the minister signed with 3 IPP producers earlier today. Let's leave it there.